Hello, future scientists. Welcome to an exciting journey into the heart of chemistry. Today, we are diving deep into atoms and molecules, specifically focusing on the fascinating concept of atomic mass. Have you ever wondered how we weigh something as tiny as an atom? We'll explore how scientists came up with a clever way to do this, using a special standard, the carbon-12 atom. We'll start with the basics, then gradually uncover the deeper science behind it, moving through easy, medium, hard, and even hardest levels of understanding. Get ready to unlock the secrets of atomic weights. Let's begin our exploration with the fundamentals. What exactly is atomic mass, and why do we need a special way to measure it? Imagine trying to weigh a single grain of sand with a regular scale. It's practically impossible. Atoms are even tinier, so small that directly weighing them individually is out of the question. This is why scientists came up with the idea of relative atomic mass. Instead of an absolute weight, we compare an atom's mass to a standard reference. Think of it like comparing the weight of different fruits to a standard apple. This relative approach helps us understand how much heavier or lighter one atom is compared to another, laying the groundwork for all chemical calculations. Over time, the scientific community needed a universally accepted standard for this relative measurement. After experimenting with hydrogen and oxygen, carbon-12 emerged as the ideal choice. Why carbon-12? It's stable, abundant, and forms many compounds, making it a reliable reference. So, one atomic mass unit, or 1U, is now precisely defined as exactly 1/12 the mass of a single carbon-12 atom. This means a carbon-12 atom itself has an atomic mass of exactly 12 U. This U unit, also known as the Unified Atomic Mass Unit or Dalton, provides a consistent scale for all atomic and molecular masses. Now, let's test your understanding with a few easy questions. Pause the video, think, and try to answer them. What is the full form of U in the context of atomic mass? Why did scientists choose a relative scale for atomic masses? And finally, if an atom is twice as heavy as 1/12 at the mass of a carbon-12 atom, what is its atomic mass in U? Ready to go a bit deeper? Let's explore the historical journey of atomic mass standards and the precise definition of U. The quest for a stable atomic mass standard wasn't a straightforward one. John Dalton, a pioneer in atomic theory, first proposed a relative scale using hydrogen as his reference. Later, chemists found it more practical to use oxygen-16 as the standard. However, this led to complications because physicists used a slightly different scale based on a natural mixture of oxygen isotopes. This created two conflicting atomic mass scales. To resolve this confusion and bring consistency, the international scientific community finally agreed in 1961 to adopt carbon-12 as the universal standard, a decision that brought much-needed harmony to chemical and physical calculations worldwide. With the carbon-12 standard firmly established, the Unified Atomic Mass Unit, or U, was precisely defined. It's not just a number, it's a fundamental unit. 1 U is exactly 1/12 the mass of a single atom of the carbon-12 isotope. This means that a carbon-12 atom, by definition, has an atomic mass of precisely 12 U. This standard allows us to express the masses of all other atoms relative to this fixed, highly accurate value. For instance, a hydrogen atom has an atomic mass of approximately 1.008 U, and an oxygen atom is about 16 U. In terms of grams, 1 U is incredibly tiny, roughly 1.660539 multiplied by 10 to the power of -24 grams. Now, let's quickly review some important atomic masses that you'll frequently encounter in chemistry. Hydrogen, the lightest element, has an approximate atomic mass of 1 U. Carbon, our reference standard, is 12 U. Nitrogen is about 14 U, and oxygen is around 16 U. For sodium, it's roughly 23 U. And for chlorine, which often comes up in calculations, remember it's approximately 35.5 U. Note that for elements like chlorine, this isn't a whole number because it represents an average of its naturally occurring isotopes, a concept we'll delve into further in higher levels. These values are essential for understanding chemical formulas and reactions. Time for some medium-level questions to deepen your understanding. Why was carbon-12 chosen as the standard over hydrogen or oxygen? What is the exact definition of one unified atomic mass unit? If an atom, X, has an atomic mass of 24 U, how many times heavier is it compared to 112 at the mass of a C12 atom? Name two elements whose approximate atomic masses are 1 U and 16 U, respectively. And finally, explain the significance of having a universally accepted standard for atomic mass. Excellent! Now, let's challenge ourselves further and explore the intricate details of atomic mass. Why carbon-12? There are several profound reasons for its selection as the atomic mass standard. Firstly, carbon-12 is exceptionally stable, ensuring its mass remains constant and reliable. Secondly, it's abundant in nature, making it easily accessible for scientific studies. Chemically, carbon forms a vast number of stable compounds, allowing for precise chemical analysis. Furthermore, it forms gaseous compounds like carbon dioxide and methane, which are ideal for mass spectrometry measurements. Finally, the choice of C12 results in most other elements having atomic masses very close to whole numbers, simplifying calculations. This combination of properties makes carbon-12 an ideal, highly precise, and consistent reference for all scientific disciplines. When we look at the periodic table, you'll notice that many atomic masses aren't whole numbers, like chlorine at 35.5 U. This is because most elements exist as a mixture of isotopes. Isotopes are atoms of the same element that have the same number of protons but different numbers of neutrons, leading to different atomic masses. The atomic mass listed in the periodic table is the average atomic mass *, which is a weighted average of the masses of all its naturally occurring isotopes, taking into account their relative abundances. For example, chlorine has two main isotopes, Cl35, which makes up about 75% of natural chlorine, and Cl37, which accounts for about 25%. The average atomic mass is calculated by multiplying each isotope's mass by its abundance and summing the results, giving us 35.5 U for chlorine. How do scientists determine these precise atomic masses and isotopic abundances? The answer lies in a powerful analytical technique called mass spectrometry. In a mass spectrometer, atoms or molecules are first converted into ions. These ions are then accelerated through a vacuum and passed through a magnetic field. The magnetic field deflects the ions, with lighter ions deflecting more than heavier ones, given the same charge. A detector then measures the mass-to-charge ratio of each ion, allowing scientists to identify different isotopes, measure their exact masses, and determine their relative proportions in a sample. This technique is indispensable for establishing the highly accurate values of atomic masses we use today. Now, let's tackle some challenging questions. Pause the video and give them a thoughtful try. Why is the atomic mass of chlorine listed as 35.5 U and not a whole number? Explain the advantages of using carbon-12 as the reference standard. How does a mass spectrometer help in determining atomic mass? Calculate the average atomic mass for an element Y with isotopes Y20, 90%, and Y22, 10%. Distinguish between atomic mass and average atomic mass. If 1U is 1.66 times 10 superscript 2g, what's the mass of one oxygen atom in grams? And finally, why is it important for the standard to be stable and abundant? You've come so far. Now, let's unlock the deepest layers of understanding surrounding atomic mass, venturing into competitive depths and advanced insights. The journey from Dalton's initial relative masses to the modern unified atomic mass unit is a testament to scientific refinement. Dalton's hydrogen-based scale was a good start, but lacked precision. Later, chemists adopted oxygen-16, which was practical for many compounds. However, a significant problem arose. Physicists used a slightly different oxygen scale based on a natural mixture of isotopes, leading to two conflicting atomic mass scales and potential errors in calculations. This ambiguity was finally resolved in 1961 when the international scientific community universally agreed on carbon-12 as the single, unambiguous standard. This decision was pivotal, ensuring consistency and high precision across all scientific disciplines, from chemistry to nuclear physics. When we define 1U as 1/12th at the mass of a carbon-12 atom, it's more profound than just a relative measure. The actual mass of a carbon-12 atom is not simply the sum of the masses of its 6 protons, 6 neutrons, and 6 electrons. There's a subtle but crucial phenomenon called mass defect. This defect arises from the nuclear binding energy that holds the nucleus together. According to Einstein's E is equal to mc superscript 2 equation, this binding energy manifests as a slight reduction in mass. So, U isn't just a unit of mass, it implicitly acknowledges the mass-energy equivalence at the atomic level. This precision is vital for advanced calculations in nuclear physics, mass spectrometry, and understanding the stability of atomic nuclei. Modern mass spectrometry is an incredibly sophisticated tool, capable of determining atomic and molecular masses with extraordinary accuracy, often down to parts per million. The process involves vaporizing a sample, ionizing the atoms or molecules, accelerating these ions through an electric field, and then deflecting them using a magnetic field. The degree of deflection is directly related to the ion's mass-to-charge ratio. Different types of mass spectrometers, like time-of-flight or quadrupole, offer varying levels of resolution and application. Beyond simple mass determination, mass spectrometry is indispensable for isotopic ratio analysis, which is crucial in fields like geology for dating rocks, archaeology for tracing ancient diets, and environmental science for pollution tracking. It allows scientists to precisely quantify the natural abundance of isotopes, leading to highly accurate average atomic masses. The concepts of atomic mass extend beyond individual atoms to molecules and ionic compounds. For covalent compounds, we calculate molecular mass, which is the sum of the atomic masses of all atoms in a molecule. For example, water, HO, has a molecular mass of 18U. For ionic compounds, which don't form discrete molecules but rather crystal lattices, we use formula mass, which is the sum of the atomic masses in one formula unit, like NaCl having a formula mass of 58.5U. Both molecular and formula masses are expressed in U and are fundamental for bridging the gap between the microscopic world of atoms and the macroscopic quantities we measure in the lab. They are the building blocks for understanding the mole concept and performing accurate stoichiometric calculations, which are central to all of chemistry and chemical engineering. All right, brightest minds, prepare for the ultimate challenge. Here are your first 5 hardest questions. Discuss the historical challenges that led to the C12 standard. Explain the mass defect in C12. Describe how a mass spectrometer works. Calculate the average atomic mass for element A with given isotopes and abundances. And differentiate between atomic, molecular, and formula mass. Take your time, these require deep thought. And here are your final 5 hardest questions. Why is atomic mass rarely a whole number? How would changing the standard to O16 affect other atomic masses? Explain how mass-energy equivalence is acknowledged in atomic mass. Identify an element from its isotopic analysis data. And finally, discuss the significance of precise atomic mass determination in various scientific fields. These questions will truly test your mastery of the topic. Good luck! Wow, what an incredible journey we've had, exploring the fascinating world of atomic mass, from its basic definition to its deepest scientific nuances. We've uncovered how scientists weigh the unweighable, understood the significance of the carbon 12 standard, and even touched upon advanced techniques like mass spectrometry. We hope this session has ignited your curiosity and helped you build a strong foundation in chemistry. To continue your learning adventure and explore more such engaging content, visit synapse.omaps.in. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for regular updates and more exciting lessons. Keep learning, keep exploring, and keep questioning.